Hello and welcome to part 16 of this Tableau Made Easy series. Now, last time we created everything our client needed based on their requirements and we got it all connected via the single date filter. Now, even as it stands, even though it's not super pretty, this dashboard would add huge value. But it is always nice to make things look good, not only in terms of aesthetics, but also in terms of usability and clarity. So that is what we'll focus on here and in the following two tutorials. Now, we're going to start very much with the aesthetics, and while a white dashboard can be great, I think changing this to all be black would be really eye-catching. So let's change all of our colors from white to black. So if we go up into our top menu and into Format, and then we go down and click Dashboard, we get our formatting options over on the left of our screens. Under the dashboard shading heading, let's click into default here, and then let's select black. So as you can see, this has changed the entire background, but not the worksheets themselves or the text. So let's deal with some of that now. If we click out of there, and then under this next section called dashboard title, let's go into the font dropdown. And for this, let's select white. And when we do, we see our dashboard title change. Let's do the same for each of our worksheet titles. So down here in this next section, let's again go into font and let's again change that to white. Nice work. So let's exit out of here using the little cross at the top right, and then let's deal with our worksheets. So first of all, let's go over to our map in the middle here and let's right click, and then let's select background layers down here near the bottom. Again, when we do that, we get some options over on the left of screen. If we click into the drop down here under style, let's change this from being light to dark instead. Cool, that looks great. Although since our map is smaller here than it was in the worksheet where it was sitting by itself, in this dark mode, the data points on the map do seem to almost blur together a bit. So I might test out a bit of a solution for this. If we head back down to the bottom and into our actual earthquake map worksheet, in the marks card here, if I click into color, down the bottom we have options for our border. So essentially a line that will surround each of our circles on the map. So let's click into that. And then instead of just being automatic, we could change that to white, for example, or even what might look nice could be this light gray. So this third one down here, I'm going to try that. Cool, so if we head back to our dashboard, that does give them a bit more separation. I don't know, maybe you like that, maybe you don't. Feel free to go with what you feel is best, but I might stick with this for now. One more thing with maps in dashboards, if you ever find that when you add a map to your dashboard here in Tableau, that it doesn't quite fit the space or that it comes up with a scroll bar down the side, which is less than ideal from a usability point of view, you can click on the map to make sure that it's selected. And then if we go up to the menu bar at the top and again go into format and then down to cell size, if we change it from being a text cell to a square cell, this can often help. It hasn't made any difference to us here, but a good one to know as I've struggled with this in the past and I was super happy when I found this solution. Anyway, our map is looking sharp. Let's move on to our tables. So over on the left, we have our top 10 earthquakes table. The first thing that we want to do is to fit that into the space allocated here in the dashboard, as at the moment it's kind of just hanging there in the top half of the box. So if we right click in this blank space at the bottom, and then go to fit, and then entire view, that gets it to take up the allocated space, which looks so much better. Now, in terms of getting this table to be black as well, let's go up and right click on it, and then let's click on format. And again, we get our options over to the left. Now, the first thing we want to change is our fonts. So up here at the top, let's click this little A icon. And we're going to change our font to be white. So here under the default heading, let's click into worksheet and change that to be white. And now let's sort out the background color of our table. So up the top, let's go and click this little paint can icon, which is for our shading. And then again, under the default heading, let's click into worksheet and change this to be black. And then because Tableau has assigned this row banding effect to our table, in other words, where each alternate row goes from white to gray to white and so on, we also want to go down to this section called row banding and click into pane and change that to black, and then also into header and change that to black. How cool is that? This is looking super sharp. So let's do the same for our earthquakes by location table over on the right of our map. So again, let's go over here and right click in the empty space. Let's go to Fit and then Entire View. Awesome. And since our formatting options are all still open on the left, let's go over to the default heading and change Worksheet here to be black. And just like before, let's head down to row banding. Let's head into Pane. Let's turn that to black. Let's head into Header and also make that black. We still need to change the font, so up the top, let's click the little A icon. And then again, under the default heading here, let's click into Worksheet and let's change this to be white. Awesome, that is looking really good. Over in our table, we can see that our location broad column is a little bit squished, so let's head over there and give that a little bit more space. And then actually, it might be nice to have these percentages here centered in that column rather than over to the right. So again, back to our formatting options and then up the top to the alignment icon. And then for pane here, let's change this to be centered. And actually, let's do the same for our top 10 largest earthquakes. So let's click into that table. Let's go into pane and center that as well. Awesome. Now we have a bit of inconsistency around the grid lines between our top 10 table over on the left and our percentages table over on the right. So let's click into our table over on the right and then let's go into the grid lines tab at the top here. And then under default, let's go into the cell drop down and let's select white. Let's go into header, the third one down, and also change that to white. And then let's make sure that our top 10 earthquakes chart has the same look. So let's click into that. Let's do the same. So under cell, let's put white. And then for header, let's put white as well. Awesome. This is looking fantastic. And of course, these formatting options are something that are always trial and error for me. I can never remember which option refers to which part. I genuinely just have to play around with them and click buttons and see what changes until I find what I'm looking for. So don't worry if this all seems confusing. It is very much a case of tinkering until you get it right. All right, well, we have made some incredible progress here. Let's leave it there for now and let's take a bit of a break. And then in the next tutorial, we will pick up from where we are here and we'll get to formatting our bottom chart so it fits in with the rest of our style. From there, I think we should get our filter up into our title area and we will also add a logo up there at the top left to make this look even better. And from there, it will just be little changes to make sure this is as clear as possible for our client. So as we always do, let's make sure that we save our workbook. So File, Save to Tableau Public. And let's keep working in the next tutorial. I cannot wait for this, so I will see you there.